My mic on? Is it? Let me make sure. Yeah. It's on. You got to make sure the mic is on because I like when people can hear what I'm saying. Remember that the Mohammeds did say sometime last year that the FBI had questioned him, Azruddin Mohammed, in connection to the murder of Paper Shorts. His mouth said that he was questioned by the international police regarding that case, the murder of that individual, Paper Shorts. You know him as Paper Shorts, so we'll deal with the name that you know, that you're familiar with. Now listen, there's a lot floating around, breaking news here and there, unimportant things. So I'm going to talk about stuff that the other people, the other side, is paid not to talk about. They talk about stuff that conflicts their own narrative. So I'm going to counteract that. That's what I'm here for. We want to build quality people. We want to build quality, high-value citizens. Those were the words of our president at the business conference, Energy Summit in New York. And I agree with him. Welcome to Uncensored Guyana. I'm Dr. RYAN Persaud. You see, the mindset of the PPP in general, I'm not going to attribute this just to President Irfan Ali, because we have to understand that President Irfan Ali's father was an educator, a retired educator, not a politician. As far as I know, his father and mother were teachers. They had no hand in politics. So they could not have influenced his ideas and policies regarding politics. That had to have come from his association and upbringing in the youth arm of the PPP, in the adult arm of the PPP, serving as minister, serving as advisors. It is the PPP that molded Irfan Ali, not his father or mother. And where does the principles and qualities of the PPP came from? Chedi Jagan. Remember again, it's important that I keep emphasizing this. The People's Progressive Party was the brainchild of one man, Chedi Jagan. From that blueprint that he established, Barnum, with the help of foreign invaders, stole a copy and turned it in the opposite direction to what Chedi stood for. So while some people are saying the PNC is an extension of the PPP, that may be so. But the PNC took the good from the PPP and turned it bad. So what has remained is the original thought, the originality of the PPP that Chedi Jagan wanted to bring Guyana from the British control and the West control to an independent country, as it is now. So all these ideas and these policies and these programs of President Irfan Ali is not unique to him. It's a PPP thing. Unfortunately, Donald Ramotar was not under the PPP. He was influenced by them, by the PNC. But Bara Jagdeo, Irfan Ali, it's a PPP thing. So when Ali talks about building quality citizens, high value citizens, it is an all-inclusive idea. You see, why I'm talking about this now is because the other side, the WIN, the PNC, and that lunatic David Hines, they are pushing a narrative on their platforms, their newscasts, and is trying to paint a picture that Ali is a hypocrite, that Ali is talking about quality people, while at the same time the budget only focuses on infrastructure, making his friends and families rich. Well, listen, I've said before, I am not family to Ali, but I'm friend. I'm family to the PPP. How come I'm not the one benefiting? So what family and friends are you talking about? As far as I know, there is no family or friends of the PPP that is getting anything. None. So I don't know what you're talking about. What they're pushing is their idea of what quality citizens are. The household that raised these people have a different standards and mentality. The progressive part of Guyana and Guyanese, you would understand what I'm saying here. If a man wants to add quality to his family, to his household, how does he do that? This is what he doesn't do. He don't increase allowances for his children. He don't spoil them with unnecessary clothing and footwear and bags and taking them to fast food joint every weekend, KFC, McDonald's. He don't do that. When a man wants to add quality or give his family a quality life, this is where he invests. Education, health insurance, the home, he makes it bigger or he renovates the home. He gives them a better television. He gives them more security at the homes. He makes sure that the kitchen has better facilities. There's food in the house. There is savings in their bank accounts. That is how men add quality and value to their homes, which is the human beings in their households. That's how they do it. But then again, who would understand that? Negroes wouldn't. That's not a black man's mentality. A black man's mentality is exactly what David Hines, Aubrey Norton, Sherrod Duncan, even Azriddin Mohammed is pushing, which is more cash grants, more free money, no work, just play. That's quality to them. Don't build infrastructure. Don't improve the hospital system. Don't improve technology. Don't improve the road infrastructure. Don't build any bridge. Don't improve the transportation. Don't improve security. Don't improve safety. Don't do any of that. Leave it as a ghetto as it is. All you need to do is to keep giving them free money. Give them free money. They don't mind. They will drive on the mud roads, break their cars, and they won't complain because why? They get direct free money. That's their idea of quality citizens. Quality citizens is exactly what Ali is doing. You want your citizens to enjoy a high standards of living? Give them better roads. Give them better hospital facility. Give them better security and safety in police stations and military. Give them better commerce, more banks, more markets, more homes, more housing. The man is doing exactly what he said he's doing, what the PPP stands for, and the speech he gave in America and other places. It is just a reflection of what's already happening. It's already happening. That's building quality citizens. That is encouraging people to remigrate to Guyana because they're seeing the quality of life Guyanese have in Guyana compared to those people who live in other countries. They don't have that. So what are they doing? They're packing up and they're leaving and they're going back to their country. Why? Because the president and his policies under the PPP is improving the quality of life for Guyanese. The world can see that. David fucking Hines, can you please retire? Just retire. You are not going to take over the PNC or the APNU. They felt sorry for you because you like to cuss Indians. They feel sorry for you and they gave you a seat in the parliament. But you think you're now the big boss? You want to replace Aubrey Norton? Campbell has retired from speaking. You're the only one who didn't get the message. You haven't read the room. You haven't read the writing on the wall. Nobody wants to hear from the PNC, from you. Nobody. Not the blacks in Guyana. Nobody wants to hear from you. But the fact that they are giving you platform and they are forcing your messages into the ears of the Guyanese, home and abroad, the most people can do is just swipe across when they see your face pops up, because nothing good comes out of your filthy criminal mouth. Absolutely nothing good. The PNC group, the APNU followers, the APNU group is dwindling. It's dwindling. The only one that is gaining traction right now, and not because he is loved, but because he's paying, is Mohammed. He gets views. Why? Because he's paying for the views. It's not that people are clicking on his stuff. It's bots. You know what bots are, right? You have a specialist, you pay them, and they can create bots to give you fake profiles, create fake profiles that are liking your page, and these fake profiles are watching your videos. It's not humans, just robots, computer bots. They do that. It costs money. This is why people like Azridi can afford to do that with his illegal money. But I can't do that because it costs a lot of money to pay bots, to buy bots for views. $1,000 can get you tens of thousands of views. So don't get it twisted. The good citizens of Guyana are not tuning into these people. They're filthy. They're nasty. And Irfan Ali, President Irfan Ali, is the best ambassador Guyana has secured to date. He is doing more than just being a president. He's the only one in the history of Guyana who has represented Guyana with that level of distinction. He's the only one. Give the man credit when it's due. Because of him, Guyana is respected around the world because of Ali. Fuck Venezuela, their days are coming. Their days are coming. We need to focus on the prize. And what is the prize? The quality of lives for Guyanese has improved. Don't focus on the criminals who keep robbing people. They will rob anyhow. They were raised in prison, and all they can think about is crime. Anyhow, they're going to rob. Their mothers are prostitutes, their fathers are pimps and drug dealers and ex-convicts and homosexuals. What do you expect from them? What do you expect? They will do just what they have been raised to do. You see them in their secondary schools, they're fighting with each other, they're cussing the police, the teachers, they're gang banging each other because that's the environment they come from. You think if Guyanese had a choice, they would send their children to school with these other thugs? They would pay for private schools. But how much can the government do? How much can the trained teachers do? These teachers are trained to be teachers, not to be police or bodyguards or bouncers. They're trained to be teachers, to dispel educate, to convey education. That's what they were trained for, not to stop fights. So don't allow yourself to be consumed by the lies coming from the PNC and all these others. Focus on the prize. Folks, imagine you're going to a church and the pastor is a man who was released from prison for crimes that he should have been hung for. And his wife is a former prostitute. And you sitting in the pews, listening to him and his wife telling you about God, telling you about living right, telling you about decency, scolding you about sins. Imagine if any time, or if there is a situation right now where your pastor is a known ex-criminal and you believe that stuff, that God saves people. He's a saved man. He's a man of God now, so you can trust him. And you go to that church, listen to that man, allow him to put his hand on your head, pray for your children, counsel your wife. You should be locked up for going to that church. If you think that it's that simple for people to be reformed. The only time they are reformed is when they're dead, and if they go to the judgment gate and they're being judged. Reformation is determined whether they go to hell or heaven. But if you know someone to be a known career criminal, a professed liar, drug dealer, gold smuggler, scammer, scamp, crook, you know that. It is established. And you think that in a month, that person can make a U-turn and start talking, I'm a good person, I'm a man of God, Allah knows, and you stand and you listen, you digest, and you said, amen to that, you are a fucking idiot to believe that kind of junk, that those people who have made their money on crime, lies, cheating the system, conspiracy, planning, and all these kinds of stuff, the evil of society, that's how they get rich. And you think overnight, just because they are faced with an indictment, an extradition, they become good? Then you are a fucking idiot. You are stupid. Yes, I'm talking to the people who follow the PNC and the WIN people. Because you're going to listen to Shell Mohammed. Shell. The gangster who raised that thug, that wannabe thug, his son. And you're going to hear Shell saying he's a man of God. The audacity, the brazenness. This man is disrespectful to call God's name in his mouth. That is blasphemous. It is evil beyond reproach. To confess, Shell, that you are a man of God, then who am I? Jesus? You and your son are faced with high crimes that you have committed all your life. And just because the laws of Guyana has to be the laws of Guyana and follow the international system, and they revoked your gun license because OFAC sanctioned individual, or apart from OFAC, if you are indicted, you face charges in the court, you are on bail. The nature of your crimes, Shell, you and your son. The Guyana Police Force or the Home Affairs Ministry didn't have to wait for an indictment or for sanctions. Your guns should have been revoked a long time. Your license a long time, because you people are bad character. You're bad character, you're bad news. You're trending in the wrong way. You shouldn't be allowed to have anything close to a firearm. Not even a cutlass. They catch you with a knife, they should arrest you because you can't be trusted. Everything that happens, major crime, your name would be called. For years, not today, for years. And you have the audacity to come and say, Allah knows you don't need guns for protection. Now, why the fuck did you get it in the first place? Why you had your teenage son secure a gun license in the first place? You are a man of God. You're not a criminal. All them high-powered weapons that Azruddin had, and he's always posing with, for what? What's the point? You think you'll get pussy with that? If you can't get pussy being a billionaire, you think having a gun in a picture is going to get you that? I mean, women are weak to big guns? No, Azruddin. They ain't weak to that. If your money can't get you pussy, it means it's not your money, it's not the gun, it's you. They just don't want you. They're turned off by your presence. You're excused. So what protection? What protection are you talking about? Moving on. I saw something about this idiot, Indo-Guyanese guy, who pointing fingers at Alel Nandalal and talking about bribery and talking about Irfan Ali and all these kinds of stuff. Look, Shell Mohammed would know, he and his son would know politicians are corrupt. Because why? Because they corrupted the politicians. So they would know. Shell Mohammed would know what parliamentarian sold their duty-free access for money. He would know that because allegedly he bought a lot of it. He and his son. Those luxury vehicles that they have, most of it came from parliamentarians selling their duty-free to Shell and his son. They're buying it from them. So they would know that, right? And it happened a lot during the PNC time. The PNC, they used to sell their duty-free, their member of parliament, to business people who want to import stuff, who want to bring stuff to Guyana and don't want to pay the duty. They sell it to those business people. And somehow they get another one. So when you're talking about duty-free, Shell, you got to talk about the PNC government, the PNC parliamentarians. Because as we know, on record, Ganesh Mahipal is a PNC. And the whole country knows that he sold the duty free for his colleague, a black woman. So don't throw things and talk about, yes, everybody, the PPP, yeah, Shell, if you had evidence, you would have brought it. Since the PPP wants to get you, and you have evidence that PPP members of parliament sold duty-free, their duty-free concession, and you have that evidence, you would have brought it a long time. Nelly Smell would have had it, or Burke and these people. But there's none. None. Poor Neil Marks. Poor Neil Marks. You got something on him from the Ministry of Education. You see what you did? You pushed it in the media. You pushed it on social media because you have something. So if you had anything that PPP's members of parliament were selling their duty free, you would have pushed it as well. But you have nothing. All you have is your weak confession that you are a man of God because you still hope that the black people forgot what you said, that only 3 black people in Georgetown has businesses, and the blacks that you were cussing out, they should go to those 3 black people and get jobs. Remember, Shell, you want them to forget that, right? You want them to forget that. They wouldn't forget it. Your support is dwindling. So that asshole who talks about Anel Nandala and that every politician is corrupt, every police is corrupt, and the police is a small man, and the politicians are taking bribe in the parliament. Again, I'm saying this. If you have any evidence that you bribe a member of the PPP, produce it. You can't have some friend who might be bitter or didn't get a favor that he thought he deserved, telling you some lie that he paid for some favor or some access and he hasn't received it, and you took that and say, yes, the PPP are taking bribe in the parliament, the ministers are being bribed. Yeah, well, where the fuck is the evidence, man? It goes with evidence. You're trying to do things on behalf of your boss, Azruddin, but he has to give you evidence to back up what you're saying, because like we said, the Americans has evidence against the Mohammeds and they produced it. They haven't accused them. They charged them because they have the evidence to charge them. They're waiting for them to go to America so they can try them in federal court in Florida. So when you're coming and you're talking on behalf of the Mohammeds and this homosexual one with beard, you should wear a dress with your rat voice and Azruddin, and somebody wants to kill Azruddin. That's why they took his gun, because Azruddin is afraid that somebody may want to assassinate him. You fucking faggot. All of you. Enjoy the payment while you can. It's going to stop. And pretty soon. But if you have your evidence, present it. Because when we talk about cover up, I want to see one case that involves any prominent person from the PPP who has committed any crime, any level of crime, and they have not faced justice because they got favors from somebody in the PPP and it was covered up. I want to see one. Don't speculate. Show the evidence. But there's a lot of fucking evidence tying Azruddin Mohammed to RYAN PERSAUD, that 14-year-old boy whose life was snatched as a result of a stray bullet. There's a lot of evidence. What happened to that case? What happened to it? Let me refresh you, because I pulled it up. I'll refresh your memory about the RYAN PERSAUD issue. 14-year-old RYAN PERSAUD lost his life who was a resident of the West Bank of Demerara. 2013. He was outside of his home playing like most 14-year-olds would do when he was struck by a bullet before collapsing. What were they shooting and what were they shooting at in the Demerara River? Where the young man lived, that's the river there. They were sailing in the river, shooting like they hadn't good. At what? At rivals? Was it a drive-by, Ajradin? Was it a drive-by? And this young man was a casualty? The controversy surrounding that case, all the footage that they got, because they had cameras around the area, was buried. It was not released into the public's domain so people can see whose boat and who was in a boat and who was firing the bullets. It was buried. But people in the neighborhood, people who were there, who witnessed, they fingered Ajradin. They did. But when you are the billionaire family in the country, when you have the amount of money that they have, you can buy the entire division, police division, at Vredenhoek there on the West Coast. You can buy everybody. You can destroy the evidence. You're cursed. Mohammed, you are cursed. What you are experiencing right now is karma. You are cursed. You have done too many evil deeds against other humans. You shall face your judgment in America. Too many lives were lost under you. I'll read on for you. Ryan was a student from the Viva La Force, West Bank Demerara. On September 2nd, 2013, he was reportedly outside near his home when he was struck in the back. Oh my gosh. Who shoots a child in their back? Who does that? Only a devil, only somebody who's evil. A professional liar, a cheat, a con man can do that. Witnesses said he initially thought something had stung him before collapsing. He later died at the West Demerara Regional Hospital. Residents claimed that for months, even years, gunshots had been heard coming from boats and areas across the Demerara River. Boats. Community members said reports were made to the police before tragedy happened, including claims that bullets had previously struck homes in the village. This was a playground for these people. No regards for human lives. Investigators later questioned several people and tested hands for gun residue. Reports at the time linked the probe to individuals associated with wealthy gold dealing circles. You understand? The investigation led to individuals who were prominent gold dealing individuals. Prominent. Attached to that, we had the Ricardo Fagundes, known as Paper Shorts, a controversial Guyanese figure who was connected to the gold trade and the underworld circles. Underground underworld circles, was shot dead outside the Palm Court. What's the linkage here? RYAN PERSAUD, Paper Shorts. What's the linkage? Did Paper Shorts know something about the RYAN PERSAUD's murder? Because Paper Shorts was an associate to the underworld, an associate to these gold dominance, these gold cartel, these drug cartels. He knew, so he would have been in their group, in their association on many occasions. So he probably was one of them in the boat who saw when the shots were fired. He knew who did it. He was right there. Maybe he was about to talk. Maybe he was holding it over whoever's head and say, hey, if you don't pay up, I'm going to release the information I know about this child. And then he became a target, just so they kill the last credible witness, Paper Shorts. There could have been a link that he knew what happened to that child. They gunned him down too. So my thing about this is, why did the American FBI questioned Azriddin Mohammed about the killing of Paper Shorts? Why? They had in their possession surveillance videos, other evidences, cell phone and all the stuff they had in their possession. Why would they question you, Azriddin? You're fingered in a lot of stuff, but why particularly Paper Shorts? And the Americans question you, since the Guyanese police were compromised. The family of that child, RYAN PERSAUD, got no justice. No justice. So the claim continues. They perpetuate try. The perpetual cry rather, that you can't trust the Guyana police force. You can't trust Soko. You can't trust this one and that one. You understand why? So Guyanese are forced to depend on foreign police agencies. They're forced to depend on that now. But why were you questioned by the FBI about Paper Shorts murder? Azriddin, unless they have evidence that you are a part of it, and they're waiting to bring that up in the trial, in the courts. Is it that they have evidence linking you to RYAN PERSAUD, Paper Shorts, and all of these other murders that went unsolved? That these American agencies have the information that you are directly responsible, since you were the head of the underworld, the cartel, agent of Maduro, and all these drug cartels, Tren de Aragua, and all these other people. You were their link in Guyana to keep all those competitors quiet. Questioning you about the alleged assassination attempt on a gold dealer in Guyana, your competitor. One of these names, I'm going to call his name, so the country knows that you also is fingered in wanting to assassinate that individual too. Even Roger Khan is afraid of you. Who are you, man? You are a terrible human being. Azrini Mohammed, you are terrible. Imagine you want to be president. Fuck. Imagine you want to be, you are the most evil man in Guyana right now. You make Bornum look like a saint. You are evil, you are disgusting. Very disgusting. All of these things are waiting. I can say, while the family of RYAN PERSAUD is still waiting for their justice, and they keep talking, they keep calling and reaching out, they want to know, they want to see these people brought to justice. I would echo the same sentiment. I understand there is not much Anil Nandalal can do. He probably know exactly who these criminals are, but there's not much he can do. Maybe when he's president, he can do more. Every Guyanese citizen deserves justice, including that black woman that your wife killed on her motorcycle. Your family is surrounded by spirits that needs justice. They need to go to rest. And they cannot leave this plane until they know that justice is served on their behalf. RYAN PERSAUD, paper short, that woman that was murdered by your wife. I mean, there's so many. They need to know that their spirits, their soul can go to rest. They want to rest. They want to wait on the second coming. They want to wait on the resurrection. They want to wait on reincarnation, but they can't do that because they have not been served justice. We are calling, especially for that child, shot in his back. Oh, man. Oh, my gosh. You got a gun license when you're a teenager. And you're talking about corruption in the government? Your father helped, according to the Americans, to corrupt government officials. Your father did. Then you took it over. Look what's happening in the courts with your case. A magistrate is compromised, allegedly. Now we're looking at the CCJ. 21st of April. How much weeks was that? 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks. We would soon reach a month, and we still can't hear anything on the Mohammed's case. All them other courts in Guyana wrapped it up quickly before you think. What is taking the CCJ this long for something as a simple verdict as yes or no? What, they want to keep us in suspense? Are there deals making behind closed doors? Are they trying to get funding from the government and is holding that over the government to say, if you don't give us a few billions, we're gonna keep this case here for the next 5 years? What's happening there? Mr. Attorney General, Anil Nandalal, and the DPP, the Director of Public Prosecution. I'm asking on behalf of the family of Paper Shorts and the family of this RYAN PERSAUD and the family of that lady, what's her name, Odessa, was it? That Ashwini's wife hit with her Mercedes Jeep and killed. I am asking for an independent inquiry into the death of these individuals. Establish a special commission to do research, to do an investigation, to hold the people responsible accountable. Let the public know who they are, prosecute them, send them to prison. If it is directly tied to the Mohammeds, don't think about extradition case. You try them, you convict them, it is easier after they're convicted to hand them over to the FBI because now they're a ward of the state. But if you procrastinate everything because the Mohammeds have an extradition case before the courts, then these families, their tears would continue to flow. The deaths of their relatives would not be able to be resolved. Their souls would not rest. Their spirits would not rest. We know the Mohammeds love spirits. They like to keep spirits on ice, like the Adriana case, like the case with that man who abused his wife at recently there, that they're blaming the police of killing him. The Mohammeds like to keep dead people on ice. They seem to like that. That's how they keep their wealth. But I'm calling for an independent inquiry into the RYAN PERSAUD's case. Open the books on the Paper Shorts case. Mohammed himself confessed that he was questioned by the FBI over that matter. That's the clue you need. The FBI aren't stupid. This is an international, they're the best investigators in the world. So if they have reasons to question the Mohammeds in direct relation to the death of Paper Shorts, who himself was fingered in many other issues under the American investigation, it means they have things on the Mohammeds linking them to Paper Short. And if it's linking them to Paper Short, and Paper Short was a part of the underworld, and the residents in West Demerara often said boats are always fighting each other, shooting in that Demerara River, then you know that the man is directly linked to whoever killed that child. He's directly linked to that. Why are we giving the Mohammeds such glory? I've said it on many occasions. Look across social media. Look at all of the newscasts in Guyana. There is but one, NCN, which of course is the government. Almost every other news outlet in Guyana is anti-PPP. They're pushing narratives to make Ali looks bad. The PPP looks like they're a corrupt organization. Almost everyone besides the National Communications Network, and of course they're the government. Look on social media. The platforms that are constantly, every day, spreading propaganda in favor of Azzuddin Mohammed. Almost every one of them he has in control. And most are not based in Guyana. They're not based there. But yet they speak on behalf of Azzuddin Mohammed. Why? You want to tell me that people by default hates the PPP? That every black man with a mic hates the PPP? No, I don't think so. I refuse to believe that. Because these same people who are now pushing for the Mohammeds, talking for the Mohammeds, they never talk for the PNC. They used to talk for the PPP, not the PNC. But they switched from the PPP to Mohammed. Why? Money. Money. So unless you're the government of Irfan Ali, do what you have to do to speed up this extradition and get this man out the country, there might only be one or two persons who would remain on the side of law and order and right and truth to keep the Guyanese well informed and to detox the Guyanese mentality and their persona from the lies that are coming from these other sources that are being funded by Azzuddin Mohammed. And I'm one of the persons who would be still there. But the way things are looking, Azzuddin is buying up all of the PNC pundits. All of them. He's buying them up. The ones you would even see your surprises at what? This guy used to speak for PNC. This is a pro. Now they're talking for, yeah, money. The man still has a lot of money. And no matter where these pundits are, whatever country they are reaching them. The money is reaching them. Because Mohammed still has his operatives in these countries to launder money for him. It's still happening. So he can get money to pay these people to speak on his behalf. And the closer we get to a verdict, is the more desperate the Mohammeds are to flood the Guyanese diaspora, home and abroad, with propaganda and fake news. So when the end comes and they are in handcuffs, they want civil war on their behalf. So they're speeding up, they're ramping up, they're increasing their campaign towards propaganda against President Ali and against the PPP. Every outlet, pay attention, you'll see, is speaking for the Mohammeds. They're not speaking for PNC anymore. They're not speaking for black people anymore. Just Azruddin. It's about him. But the Guyanese voters in Guyana, they're not paying attention to him anymore because they realize his game. They peeped his game. They see that he's fighting to stay out of prison. He's not fighting because he wants to help poor people. No. This is all a strategy to get people to be bitter with the Ali administration, to make them think that, you see, the Ali, they're living like kings and they're having you live like poor people. No, the only person in Guyana who is living like a king is the Mohammed's family. There is nobody else. I told you the other day, these ministers don't earn money. They don't earn money. Mohammeds are fighting to stay out of prison. If they really want to show philanthropy, go back to building houses. You went into the interior and talk about a road that was not finished, then you complete it. Complete the road. How much would it cost? You have construction materials. Just complete it. People will appreciate that. All the things you're saying that Ali is not completing, the promises you're saying Ali is making and not fulfilling it, you have an opportunity to fulfill it. Don't you think the Guyanese would appreciate that? What is your position? Just to pick a fight with PPP officials because you can? People are not impressed with that, Azruddin. They're not impressed with that. If something is not completed, you complete it. Say, look, I'm the opposition leader, and you didn't make me president, but I'm doing this to show you that I love you. If the road is 10 kilometers and the PPP only built 6 kilometers, you can finish the 4 from your pocket. You see people are living in dilapidated houses, you can renovate their houses. But you stop doing that. You stop buying machines, you stop buying bicycles, you stop sponsoring birthday parties, you stop all of that. All you do now is beg people to send you videos with some beef they have with somebody and you post it on your wall. Or you go around to some tent where contracts are being given out and you say, look, only PPP people are here. I want to say again, I know a lot of PPP people, a lot, real stalwarts of the PPP, that got nothing from the Ali government. Absolutely nothing. They are working, they have their businesses, they are contributing to the society, to the economy, but there is no contract that they have ever received from any PPP government. So this lie that you are pushing, you and the PNC people are pushing that the PPP only help their friends and family, that is a lie. I don't know any friend of the PPP that has been helped by the PPP. None. Or family. They say I'm family, but they don't help me. I know a lot of people who are family, blood family to ministers. blood to ministers, PPP ministers, and they're still struggling. So it's a lie. What the PPP is doing is being a government. These ministers, these cabinet ministers, these officials in the Ali administration, they're not PPP, they are public servants to serve the public, not to serve PPP supporters, the public. And since largely the public sector, largely 70% of the public sector employees are Afro-Guyanese. 70%. All of the public services that are coming out of the Ali government is benefiting and serving Afro-Guyanese more. So when you talk about PPP, people are getting help, they're not. They're in the private sector. They are the hustlers. They're the ones who are working with themselves. They're the ones who are footing it. They're not getting handouts from the government. They have to struggle for that. But do you hear them complaining? Do you hear them talking about the PPP isn't helping them? No, they're not. The only people who are complaining, the only so-called PPP supporter who is complaining are those that the wind bought over. Those soup drinkers like Charandas, that the wind, the corrupt ones, the underground ones that got caught with drugs, and they think because they support the PPP must turn a blind eye and let them go. No, those are the ones who turn bitter against the PPP. But like I said before, the government of Guyana right now is not the PPP. It's the government of Guyana. The PPP is a political party whose candidates form the government. But the Irfan Ali administration is not the Irfan Ali PPP administration. It's the government of Guyana. They serve all Guyanese. They serve. Disconnect the two. Thanks for your attention. It's Friday. If you want to drink, take it easy. Be careful on the roadways because I need you to stick around for the next show so I can have your viewership. And while you watch, whatever platform you're watching me on, I want you to mass subscribe to the channel. Mass subscribe. That means 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 people must click on the subscribe button at the same time. Facebook, follow me in your drones on Facebook, in your drones on TikTok. Subscribe on YouTube. Because when you do that, we suppress the voices of the evil characters and actors in Guyana who only wants to see Guyana go back to the days of Barnum. And we ain't going back. Because Ali is on a path, is on a road, and we are with him, behind him, because we need to get there to the golden land, because we have achieved, we have reached, we have arrived at the promised land. Now we have to make that promised land golden, and we are going to make it together. Together, we shall make Guyana golden again. Until next time, I thank you for your attention. Goodbye.